Well, get your barf bags ready, and we are going to Tromaville, the toxic waste capital of the world. And our tour guide, Lloyd Kaufman, is here with us today to talk about Return to Nukem High, aka Volume 2, as well as Troma Entertainment. So thank you for joining us, Lloyd. This is awesome.
Well, you know, 2017, Cierra, it marks my 50th year making feature-length movies.
Whoa.
So finally, after 50 years, I've made it to the top, and I finally got to be interviewed by you on PopNerdTV. It's incredible, unbelievable. It's the happiest that everybody in Tromaville is cheering, and it's a joyful day in Tromaville.
I wish I could be there.
The Toxic Avenger is mopping. Huh?
I wish I could be there.
Toxic Avenger is mopping. Yeah, I wish you could be here too, but I'd actually rather be with you than with these horrible people here, but it's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
Well, for those who are not familiar with your work or who you are, can you please give those poor unfortunate souls the benefit of learning who Lloyd Kaufman is and what Troma is all about?
Well, Troma is a 43-year-old movie studio, independent, probably the longest-running movie studio in history. And we make movies about Schopenhauer, and we like to do a lot of interpretive dancing. You know, Terrence Malick, he makes movies with the wheat, and you know, we're very artistic and very sophisticated, very elegant, very good taste. I think we are known for, especially for the interpretive dancing. Now into AKA Volume 2, on which I've been working for 7 beautiful years with Travis Campbell. That is just a lovely, lovely movie. And was going to be opening the first half of the film played in the Museum of Modern Art. That's how artistic it is.
Yeah.
And the Museum of Modern Art in New York had the premiere, did a big premiere for Volume 1 of Return to Nukem High, the first half of this 7-year program. And now we've just finished the second half. Return to Nukem High, aka Volume 2, which, like many Troma movies, has a lot of political and sociological significance, as well as huge amounts of sex, violence, monsters, explosions. It's a story about a lesbian romance, anti-bullying, a movie that speaks out against the very bad food that is shoved down the gullets of high school students. Obviously not you. You're in very good shape. But unfortunately, most of the schools in our country do not feed very good food to the children.
Yeah, it's, from what I remember, ours wasn't that great either. Well,
and for those of you who are fans of Troma, our buddies like Stan Lee and Lemmy Motorhead.
Yeah.
Lemmy's his last film. Joe Fleischaker, who was our 500-pound action hero, he died, but he's his last film. Ron Jeremy, of course, who is a great interpretive dancer, he's in there. A lot of the great Troma ensemble are all reunited in this wonderful, wonderful film.
What made you want to reboot the original class of Nukem High? And I saw that there were a few changes in the new Return to Nukem High. For example, in the original, the pregnancy and the tower scene was kind of a dream sequence, while in Return to Nukem, it was seen as it was actually happening. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the biggest difference, of course, is that in Return to Nukem High, we have, what's his name now? We have a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
Not a girl. I shouldn't say girl. Sorry, bad word. You need a safe space?
No, I'm fine.
You all right? No trigger?
No, I'm
No
fine.
trigger alert? No trigger alert? Okay.
No, I'm good.
Good. But in the new Return to Nukem High, or Return to Nukem High Volume 1 and 2, it's lesbian romance. So that's a big difference. And whereas the first film was centered around the theme of badly built nuclear power plants that contaminate marijuana and the students transform into cretins, the new version, 20 years later, it's the food, the tacos. They have the Tromaville High School has Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, unfortunately, the tacos have... The high school has been built on the site of the original nuclear power plant in the original class of Nukem High. So the radiation is going into the tacos, and on Taco Tuesday, unfortunately, the students, the Glee Club turns into cretins and raises havoc. It's I don't want to tell you too much because it's a very complicated story, and it's I think it's Michael Herz, my partner for 43 years. He is on record saying that Volume 2, Return to Nukem High, aka Volume 2, is the best movie that Troma has made in 43 years. And we have made The Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High, Tromeo and Juliet, Terra Firma, Tales from the Crapper. So you can see when I say that this is our best movie.
Oh yeah.
That's a serious statement.
I believe it.
And you know it's going to be extremely Troma-rific.
Oh, I've seen the trailer, so I believe you. Like, I've seen a lot of the cool monsters. But will there be any returning characters from the previous Troma films or Nukem High's past?
Well, in Volume 1, Bob Pritchard, who was one of the stars of the original Nukem High, has a brief period. Sorry, no, my wife had that.
Oh, no, you're fine.
A brief part. And of course, the delightful Lisa Gay, who had a big part in the Class of Nukem High 2 and Part 3. She's got a cameo. Lisa Rowland, the star of Class of Nukem High 2, the original back in the 80s, the subhumanoid meltdown. She's there. All sorts of people. Lisa Rowland, the absolute star of, is in the movie Return to New. A lot of them. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. John Brennan, by the way, just handed me this coffee.
Oh.
He and I directed Troma's first VR movie.
There's a VR?
Which it's called Heart of Fartness, and it's kind of a tribute to Francis Ford Coppola's searing documentary about the making of Apocalypse Now and how he almost went crazy and all that. This time, Toxie goes into the jungle and he's having a midlife crisis and having difficulties with his toxic twins and beautiful. It's a 12-minute VR movie, and we're just finishing that now. It's going to be amazing. There's so much going on here. I wish you could come to New York, Cierra.
I wish I could too.
Well, come and visit the Troma building. Bring Paul and David and David Goodman and David Badman. Bring David Badman too. You know.
I would love to come.
Bring Jonathan Paul and Paul Jonathan. That's a great name. You can go either way with it.
Yeah,
and,
his evil twin.
So Cierra Caballero,
yes.
You should come. You all should come up to Tromaville, and my wife and I will take good care of you. And you can tour the Troma building. And also, my wife has just retired from 20 years of being the New York State Film Commissioner. And she created the tax incentives that have caused so many movies to leave California and go to New York, and they're building studios. New York is booming. My wife just retired, and she was appointed by both Republican and Democratic governors.
Wow.
I talk too much, don't I? I'm really boring.
Congrats to her.
You have to remember, I'm a senior citizen, and most senior citizens talk about their health. Oy, my hip. I prefer just to ramble about stuff that's totally inconsequential, like my wife.
No, you're fine. Well, how are you going to guarantee that AKA Volume 2 is going to be the bestest, breastest, most fantastic Troma film that's ever been made.
Did you just quote a line from Shakespeare's The Tempest? Was that The Tempest I heard?
Yeah, I've been brushing up on my Shakespeare.
Brush up your Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That's a Cole Porter. That's a Cole Porter line from Kiss Me Kate. But how nice that you actually did see the trailer.
Yes.
So I do so many interviews. The Fox TV were here a little while ago. They had no idea why they were here.
What?
But you actually are quoting the trailer for
Yes.
Volume 2, and thank you so much. And by the way, the next movie we're making is going to be Shakespeare's Tempest, Troma's Storm.
That's amazing.
It will be a follow-up to our classic Romeo and Juliet, which, as you know, launched the career of Mr. James Gunn, who I don't know what he's done since. James Gunn is the many famous people have come out of Troma. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and there's Cannibal the Musical was their first movie. That's a Troma movie. And then they dropped me. Then they got the deal for Comedy Central. Eli Roth, Samuel Jackson's first movie is DEF by Temptation, a wonderful, maybe one of our very, very best films. All sorts of famous people can be seen in the almost 1,000 movies. If you go to YouTube, we put up about 300 free movies and my Make Your Own Damn Movie lessons, and a lot of short pieces, political statements, videos about net neutrality and other issues. It's all free on Troma Movies on YouTube to thank our fans for 40 years of support. So you can see all sorts of great things, including the first work of Kevin Costner in Sizzle Beach, USA. You'll see Eli Roth. You'll see all the famous people that started with Troma and then went on to drop me.
Oh, well, what I've noticed.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful?
I shouldn't have dropped you. It's not cool. But I noticed while watching the trailer that throughout the years, Troma has embraced practical effects for its like monsters and death scenes and gore. However, I've noticed that Volume 2 kind of has more CGI. Is there kind of a reason for this?
Yes, we preferred, in the same way that I stuck to 30 millimeter until the editors were ready to shove Rebus splicers down my throat. I stuck as long as I could to 35 millimeter because it looked better than the digital format. We also have stuck to CGI for a long time. We also have stuck to the practical effects for the first time. But in Volume 2, we have used CGI because I had a reason to use it. And it's not just for explosion like in the Doctor Strange $200 million piece of garbage. It's not that kind of crap. We use CGI in Volume 2. You will see it used like you've never seen it used. You'll see it used in an artistic way, in an abstract way, in a way that is really interesting. It's not to try to, if we explode something, we're going to make a real explosion. If we have a car crash, everything is real, but we did enhance our movie with very, very interesting CGI, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's abstract. It's the kind of CGI that is, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's not customary. I would say that return to CGI in a new, revolutionary, and visionary way, and in the same way that so many people have been inspired by Troma and the stuff we've done for 43 years, like Deadpool, for example, and Sausage Party. Party also. The CGI, I think you'll see a new era of CGI where people will enjoy it rather than disdain it, right?
Yes.
If there are Troma fans out in PopNerdTV land, Cierra, I hope that they will go to their local movie theater and ask the manager to please book Return to Nukem High, and maybe even make an event out of it, bring back Volume 1 and have Volume 1 and Volume 2 play at the same time and do sort of a Troma weekend, and I'll come there. And
that sounds fantastic.
Bring Troma sign stuff, and we'll make a big event out of it. So maybe there's a theater in Fort Worth, or a theater, if you could please tell your fans to go to their local movie theater and ask the managers to book Return to Nukem High Volume 2.
Okay, well, if you guys...
So very important.
Yeah, if you guys want to see a Troma event at your local theater at Fort Worth, maybe Alamo Draft House, let us know in the comments below, and call your local theater at Alamo Draft House and let them know what you want. And Lloyd will come down and we'll celebrate. It can be anywhere.
So please mention that whenever you can. Or if your fans are listening, I hope they will go to their local theater.
I hope so. I will.
And if my schedule permits, I can be there. If I can do it and I get enough advance notice, I'll show up.
That would be fantastic. Plus 50th anniversary. That would be the perfect celebration.
The only reason that Troma is still around, we're the only independent studio in history that's lasted for 43 years. You won't find one that's come even close. It's all because the fans are working for us. The fans made this movie too, Return to Nukem High. We shot up in Niagara Falls, New York, and lived in a funeral home, a vacant funeral home. 80 people lived there for 3 months, sleeping on the floor and eating crappy food and learning how to defecate in a paper bag just to make a film that's worthwhile, a film that doesn't try to be a Doctor Strange baby food type of movie. That's a real movie, like the Paul Schrader movies, that kind of stuff.
Well, thank you, Lloyd, for joining us and to talk about Return to Nukem High Volume 2. And congrats on 50 years. That's amazing.
Well, Troma is only 43 years, but I've been making feature-length movies for 50 years.
Yeah,
this is the 50th year that I've made Troma movies.
And when shall we expect Return to Nukem High to enter the stratosphere?
Well, it's completed. We are just now looking for the launching pad. We're not sure if we're going to bring it to the Cannes Film Festival for sure.
Yeah.
So if anybody's going to the Cannes Film Festival, we'll be screening it there. That'll probably be the first screenings. And then we'll play New York and LA, and then I'm depending on PopNerdTV fans to get me into Texas.
All right. That sounds awesome. I'm excited.
Not me, I meant the movie.
Well, yeah. Well, you too.
I'll come with it if they want me. After this podcast, nobody's going to want me. But you're great.
Thank you.